guys, Danny Johnson here, and today we're going to talk about headers and even some mid pipes. So I'm going to have to bust open this box over here and yank these headers out so I can show you what it's all about. Okay, so if you bear with me here, I've mocked up an engine, no pun intended. Anyway, and so hopefully this will help you visualize everything that's going on. So inside the block you have the crankshaft. The crankshaft, you have the connecting rod right here attached to the crankshaft, and then you have the piston. Where the piston is connecting, as you can see, I've put a spark plug up in here. So anyway, the piston is compressing within the cylinder, an air-fuel mixture. And as you see, you have two valves on this 4-valve engine that are intake valves, and you have two that are exhaust valves. And so operating the valves would be the cams that are on this side. So you have an intake cam and an exhaust cam. Okay, and that's all being operated by the timing chain and all of that. So let me flip this onto its side here. Okay, so I've just rotated the cylinder head upwards. Now we're looking at it somewhat upside down, but you'll see why here. So here were our intake valves. Here are our exhaust valves. And so what I wanted to show here is these are the exhaust ports. So this is where the exhaust exits the cylinder head. Okay, now where that matches up would be your either exhaust manifold or in this case, headers. So as you can see here, your headers or exhaust manifold, whichever it may be, match up right here to the cylinder head. And that's how exhaust exits the engine. Okay, so now we're going to get into the actual headers. So what normally comes on the car are called exhaust manifolds. Some cars do come factory with headers, but for the most part it's called an exhaust manifold, and basically you have each exhaust port here on each side of the cylinder head. It's basically all just one piece of pipe. They all connect into that one piece of pipe, and then it goes downward where it connects to the mid pipe. What you have with headers, you basically have an individual pipe for each of the different exhaust ports. Okay, this is going to help in exhaust flow and many other things. As far as headers go themselves, you have these which are called long tubes. Okay, these are full-length headers going all the way down to what's called the collector, where they all come together. You also can buy what's called mid-lengths, where it's kind of a mixture of this, where about halfway down you're going to have this collector meet up, around here, and so those are called mid-lengths. And then you're going to have shorties, which basically are the smallest header you can buy that very closely resembles a stock exhaust manifold. The pipes only probably go about this far on each of these, and then they all meet up. Now, here's the advantages and disadvantages. Shorties, which would be the smallest one, are going to have their collector up here, and it's going to be in basically the stock location. So the good part about that is it's going to be very easy to unbolt your stock mid pipe, and it hasn't really affected much of your catalytic converter system, anything like that. You can hook them up as normal. These long tubes, as you can tell, since they come all the way down here and they're collecting pretty much under the car, you cannot use your stock mid pipe. So these kits are going to come with their own mid pipe section. This is an X pipe here, and it's been cut short because this is obviously where this is going to line up. Where regular, X pipes, as you see that hook up to your normal exhaust, are going to come upwards here. So that's kind of the main differences. The long tubes are going to give you the biggest power gain, and the reason why is because you're going to get the most velocity out of your exhaust coming out of here, and you're going to have something called scavenging. And what that means is if you're looking at the exhaust system, you have to keep in mind not all of these tubes are filled with exhaust at the same time. If you look at the firing order on these cars, it's different cylinders firing at different times. So you may have a burst of exhaust come out here, and at the same time you're having another burst of exhaust come out, you know, the opposite side there, and you may be having the first one and the last one firing, and that kind of a thing. And so what you have is, with a burst of exhaust that's leaving here, as that exhaust travels down, it's pulling you know, a vacuum behind it. So that burst of exhaust is coming out, and as soon as it meets this collector and it's going out of the car, that vacuum is going to siphon or pull any spent exhaust out of this other tube that doesn't have anything in it, or has, you know, the remainder of its last ignition cycle. So that's called scavenging. And so the longer tubes that you have, you're not disrupting that velocity of that burst that's coming out, and it's going to be able to vacuum and suck the rest of the other exhaust gases out of the others, you know, out of the other tubes. So that's called scavenging. And so that's where you're going to be making a lot of the power, not so much just the flow itself, but that it's going to be that, you know, that vacuum that's going behind that burst is going to be able to clean out the other cylinders. And the less restriction that's left over in these other, you know, pipes on their next explosion is going to help, you know, help it flow even better than that. So now that we have that basically understood, we'll move into the mid pipe, which is in this case an X pipe. And you have almost, you know, you really have that same scavenging effect in each section of the exhaust. And so here on the mid pipe, the good part about an X pipe is the pipe joins together. You can tell it obviously makes an X looking shape, so that's why they call it an X pipe. But as you have bursts of exhaust coming through here, this is allowing them to converge and meet up. And as it meets here, it's going to take the path of least resistance. But at the same time, as that burst of air comes through here, it's going to have that vacuum behind it that's going to be pulling some of the exhaust out of the other side. So you're going to have scavenging up front, and you're going to have scavenging, you know, down here at the mid pipe. Other pipes that are similar to this will be called an H pipe, which you may have seen, and that's where these two tubes are separate the whole time, but they have one bar that goes between them, and that allows the air to also kind of mix between it, but not quite as much as an X pipe. So I'm going to say that an X pipe is going to give you a little bit better flow, all in all. And you'll hear that at, you know, about 2,500 RPM. You'll hear that rasp sound, and it's coming from that difference of pressure and exhaust flow that you hear there. So that's why an X pipe will sound different than an H pipe. Power-wise, you're not looking at too much of a difference between an X pipe and an H pipe, but there is a difference. And also, just something to mention, on a supercharged car, you're going to have less of an actual numbers gain than you would get out of a naturally aspirated car. And that's one of the reasons why I haven't put these on, because these two cars basically have a very similar cylinder head to where these headers will bolt up to either. But this one's supercharged, this one's not. I'd actually get more of a horsepower gain out of the naturally aspirated car than I would the supercharged car. Now, there's other benefits that you don't always see on dyno results from a supercharged car, like the engine may be running cooler as it's getting exhaust fumes out. But the main thing is pressure, and the supercharger, as much as it's breathing air into the engine, it's helping expel a lot of the exhaust as well, just from the pressure that's already built up in that cylinder. And you know, the power of the other pistons pushing down is already helping expel a lot of the exhaust. So that's why you'll see on a lot of these, if you look at dyno results, you won't see as big of a numbers gain on a supercharged car as a naturally aspirated car, because naturally aspirated, you're still trying to help the engine be a vacuum pump system. Okay, so yeah, on a naturally aspirated car, you're basically helping it be a better air pump, where on a supercharged car, the supercharger is already helping with so much of that equation that you're not going to see as much of a gain. It's already helping it be an efficient air pump if you consider an engine an air pump. Now going back, then we have the mid pipe, and then connected to the mid pipe would be your catback system with the muffler and going out the tailpipe. So anyway, hopefully this has been a good video for you. Something to know about these headers is that it's going to take quite a bit of work to put them onto most cars. Some cars you can put them on just by removing the stock manifolds and lifting these ones into place. On some of these Mustangs, however, you're going to most likely have to drop the whole front K-member and support the engine while you're doing that, and bolt it all on. And I've done it before. We've added headers to several Mustangs in the past, and some of the things that are just kind of keeping me from doing it on this car is, number one, that whole K-member. I was deciding if I wanted an aftermarket K-member that would weigh less, go to a tubular K-member, something like that. And yeah, unfortunately, it was just kind of a hard decision to make. And you know, headers of this size, you're going to need to have the car retuned for sure. And that's where I'm at another crossroads of, you know, if I'm going to retune the car, am I going to also do a fuel system? Am I going to swap a blower? You know, there's other things that you have to think about, but they definitely will require a tune when you're going to increase so much of an exhaust flow. Okay, so yeah, on a naturally aspirated car, you're basically helping it be a better air pump, where on a supercharged car, the supercharger is already helping with so much of that equation that you're not going to see as much of a gain. It's already helping it be an efficient air pump if you consider an engine an air pump. Now going back, then we have the mid pipe, and then connected to the mid pipe would be your catback system with the muffler and going out the tailpipe. So anyway, hopefully this has been a good video for you. Something to know about these headers is that it's going to take quite a bit of work to put them onto most cars. Some cars you can put them on just by removing the stock manifolds and lifting these ones into place. On some of these Mustangs, however, you're going to most likely have to drop the whole front K-member and support the engine while you're doing that, and bolt it all on. And I've done it before. We've added headers to several Mustangs in the past, and some of the things that are just kind of keeping me from doing it on this car is, number one, that whole K-member. I was deciding if I wanted an aftermarket K-member that would weigh less, go to a tubular K-member, something like that. And yeah, unfortunately, it was just kind of a hard decision to make. And you know, headers of this size, you're going to need to have the car retuned for sure. And that's where I'm at another crossroads of, you know, if I'm going to retune the car, am I going to also do a fuel system? Am I going to swap a blower? You know, there's other things that you have to think about, but they definitely will require a tune when you're going to increase so much of an exhaust flow. So let me know if you have any questions. This is just kind of a crash course on it. The main thing is you're getting a lot better flow out of that exhaust system there, coming out of the, you know, the cylinder heads. Longer tubes are, you know, giving you less restriction and a better flow path. Okay, a few more things that should be mentioned as well. One being back pressure. You've heard people, I'm sure, talk about running open headers, or basically just disconnecting the exhaust at the back and running it there. And the problem with that, one, it's going to be super loud. Two, you're going to get all that gas up into the car and asphyxiate yourself, so you don't want to do that. And you also need some back pressure for these engines to run normally. If you disconnect it right after the headers, then you can expect that you're probably going to have the car struggle a little bit. It'll still run. But just remember that you do need some back pressure, otherwise things just aren't running right. It's not creating the right amount of vacuum. And like I said with the scavenging, you can imagine if this was disconnected entirely, then, you know, as that exhaust is coming through here, it might not create that vacuum the way that it really should. Something also, this still allows you to run your EGR, or your exhaust gas recirculation. Basically what that is a tube that runs back up to the intake, and it's an emissions thing. Any unspent gasoline that's kind of hasn't been burned fully should make its way back up into the intake and be reburned. That's another topic itself. Something else to consider with headers is transmission work. You may not think about this at first, but once these are installed, a lot of times people have trouble getting the transmission out of the car because they drop down on each side, and they normally if you're unbolting the exhaust around here, then by the time you get to the transmission with the mid pipe out of the way, it's not a problem. So keep in mind, you have full length headers coming all the way down here. That transmission might not clear it, and you may have to come and undo one side of these just to loosen them up and get yourself clearance to get the transmission out. So that again is another reason why I've kind of held off for a minute, just deciding on transmission options or that kind of thing. Emissions may be something that's important to you as well. These actually have two high flow catalytic converters that bolt in right here between the actual headers and the mid pipe. And you can order the systems differently to add more or less catalytic converters, but you might have some issues with that too. You want to make sure that these are legal where you're installing them. So just to sum it up one last time here for long tubes or full length headers versus mid length versus shorties. Just remember with the full length long tubes, you may have some issues dragging on the bottom. You may have some issues emissions wise. You want to make sure you can get enough catalytic converters on there to make it worthwhile. These will be equally as difficult to install as all of them. And then just as we're moving on to mid lengths that go about halfway down, that's going to also require a new mid pipe. So in my opinion, if you're going to do headers instead of mid lengths, you might as well just do long tubes. But if your car's lowered, then maybe the collector is going to be an issue on full lengths. So maybe that's why you would choose mid lengths. And shorties are going to be the closest to stock. Some people really struggle with doing all that work to put them on, and so it's up to you if that's still worthwhile to you to bolt up your factory mid pipe and everything else that you would need. But shorties will provide probably the least amount of gains. At least on the higher horsepower range, you'll still have some down low gains, I'm sure. And so just be wise and do some research on which ones you think are best for your application. And hopefully this video has helped you understand them a little bit better. So let me know if you have any questions. This is just kind of a crash course on it. The main thing is you're getting a lot better flow out of that exhaust system there, coming out of the the cylinder heads. Longer tubes are giving you less restriction and a better flow path, and you also have that exhaust scavenging. Hey, so hopefully this has been a good video for you. Hopefully it'll help you decide on if you're going to be getting some long tubes, some mid lengths, or some shorty headers. And if you have any questions, then go ahead and throw them at the bottom. And thanks for watching, guys.